It's called 100 Reasons to Hate Elder Scrolls Player Races compilation. We're starting with my people. The Bosmer. Ah, shit. All right. What's the problem? Oh God.
Hello, Powdur. This is your manager speaking. Please undo your most recent retweet of Shun Head. I'm on the phone with Prime Minister Netanyahu, and he's threatening withhold his funding for your 100K sub goal. Thanks in advance. Glory to Israel.
Shut the fuck up. I'm not taking it back. I liked what she said, okay? I liked what she said. I don't care. I haven't had time to make a tweet of my own, you know. Okay? Oh, so whatever, man. I don't need Netanyahu's money. Get out of here. Alright. Let me watch this. Let's watch this so I can actually eat my food without spurging out about what's going on. Don't get me started!
So let's criticize the Bosmer today. Why not?
Why the Bosmer?
Number 1. Cannibalistic rituals. The Bosmer and their little wild hunt circus, it's kind of their thing. Shape-shifting into a horde of ravenous werebeasts and feasting on the remains of enemies while at the service of...
Wait, it's accurate! Wait, so being a werewolf is totally Bosmer coded. Woohoo!
...of the Hirsine, such a refined spectacle. One can almost hear how they chew bones as they revel in their perfectly normal diet and display of uncivilized behavior.
Why are people saying Dagoth? Literally you. This is Dagoth, your voice. Oh! The guy who made... Wait, Zake and Zach? Wait, what? Dagoth, your voice? The guy who made the mod pack? Is that what you're talking about? I'm rewinding. Dagoth is a god in Oblivion. Oh, it's from Morrowind. Oh, the golden mask guy at the start of the video. Oh, okay. I haven't played Oblivion. Hope everyone's doing well. Much love. Thank you, Harlots. Thank you so much for the bits. All right. I'll just let this play out then.
Horde of ravenous werebeasts and feasting on the remains of enemies while at the service of the Hirsine, such a refined spectacle. One can almost hear how they chew bones as they revel in their perfectly normal diet and display of uncivilized behavior. Mind you, for some it is not even necessary for the wild hunt to behave like this. Number 2, lack of solidarity. Unity is for the weak and a tool for leaders to exploit them. Yet for some reason the Bosmer have grasped this concept with astounding finesse, but not in the good sense. Nothing good ever comes from Valenwood. Why bother with alliances and cooperation when every forest dweller can fend for themselves? The admirable commitment to self-interest showcases a race with an impressive disregard for the trivial bonds that bind societies together.
Oh, wow.
It's a miracle they even form part of the Altmeri Dominion more than once. Then again, I suppose the Altmer use beast tamers to deal with them.
Whoa.
Number 3, primitive cities. Look at their architectural marvels, Nerevar. Those tree huts and rustic hamlets, I mean, proof to a species that thrives in primitive simplicity. Who needs the advancements of civilized races when you can embrace the blissful ignorance of living in treetops? Truly, a choice to revel in the charm of underdevelopment.
Wow.
I will forever wonder how they fell so low and so hard after even having been the first proper race to reach the status of empire. Outside old Aldmeris, what a grand and intoxicating innocence. Number 4, nature fanatics. The Green Pact, the other one of their things, a covenant of primitive-minded people that restrains their progress as a civilization and further takes them down the road of becoming tree-loving monsters. Harming vegetation is a sin, after all. Forget about agricultural advancements or industrial growth. The Bosmer have willingly chosen to be bound by the shackles of an ancient pact no one cares about. Number 5, short lifespan. Blink, and you'll miss them.
Oh?
The Bosmer, masters of brevity in life. While other races enjoy the luxury of longevity, the Bosmer have opted for a more disposable approach.
What?
Even the mongrel dogs of the Empire live longer than these merbeasts. One would think this is actually a positive thing, less turned beasts trying to eat other people's faces and all, but no, they reproduce faster than they die, even while killing each other. Guess their disgusting diet does keep a control on their numbers. The last thing we need is a horde of those things invading Tamriel. Number 6, weakness to madness. Nerevar, can you imagine madness as a lifestyle choice? Because Sheogorath can, yet it isn't even him they worship. They don't even live in a plane of oblivion that'd make such a thing even remotely reasonable. They frequently engage
Bosmer
in a
lived like
ritual
40
that
years on
provokes
average.
mental instability,
Wow.
not something I'd call rational decision-making. A race that willingly exposes themselves to insanity shouldn't even be considered civilized. This isn't even cultural shock at this point. But, well, it is fun to watch them go completely nuts.
We go
Do it at a safe
bonkers.
distance, though.
Bonkers.
Number 7, dubious morality. Ah, morality, a mortal concept as flexible as the Bosmer's ethical principles. Why burden oneself with a consistent moral code when it's so much more convenient to adapt based on circumstance? Their ability to seamlessly dance between shades of right and wrong is truly a hallmark of moral ambiguity. Don't get me wrong here, Nerevar. While I do appreciate a good degree of pragmatism, these people just throw everything else off the window and make choices with consequences they certainly don't care about. Pragmatism without logic nor common sense is not a good combination in the least. Number 8, dishonorable fighters, poisoned arrows and guerrilla tactics, the chosen methods of warfare for a race devoid of honor.
Poison
While
arrows.
other more dignified races engage in straightforward combat, the Bosmer thrive in cunning and deceit. A species that embraces underhanded tactics as the cornerstone of their martial prowess deserves to be treated as such. Actually, it's not even an issue with what they use to fight. It is the fact that they only do that. I do like some good poisoned weapons and ambushes, but not for literally everything. It doesn't even make sense. Do they eat people who died from being poisoned? Yeah. No, a fireball at them is all I need. Or make it 2.
Wow.
Number 9, xenophobic isolationists. Valenwood should have signs of beware, wild animals ahead at their borders. The Bosmer's wariness of other cultures is not to be underestimated. To say they are reluctant to engage in any form of culture...
Oh shit. Celestium gave me a shout out. Aw, that was nice of her. Woohoo! Okay, that's base though. Yeah, the Bosmer sound... They're like primitive, but they've got the right idea.
Number 9, xenophobic isolationists. Valenwood should have signs of beware, wild animals ahead at their borders. The Bosmer's wariness of other cultures is not to be underestimated. To say they are reluctant to engage in any form of cultural exchange is an understatement. Not only are they extremely narrow-minded, but they also are not likely to put any form of trust on anyone else. Their rituals, their extreme fanaticism for nature and pretty much everything that makes them more similar to harpies and wild minotaurs, makes them unlikely to behave when interacting with others. I'm being honest here when I say I have no idea how the Altmer tamed these things. I am a god, and I can't even fathom the thought of dealing with them. Give me farm tools or even mongrel dogs any day before having me deal with a Bosmer. Number 10. Green Pact dependence. Remember the Green Pact I mentioned before? Yeah, well, it is also a religion of sorts. Worshipping nature in the weirdest way possible, because who needs autonomy and independent thoughts when you can willingly submit to the whims of an ancient pact with an imaginary nature deity? Let alone the fact that they worship Hercene with all that wild hunt nonsense, they also worship tree-hugging precepts, not even false gods at this point. And the punch of the joke is that this Green Pact thing is quite literally what Argonians are to the Heist. They are mindless fanatics who obey it. Even Argonian farm tools have a higher degree of autonomy than a Bosmer. You can't talk to them, can't interact with them other than fighting for your life. You can't eat with them, you can't step on...
Saw you in that Quango Demon Hunters vid. Shit's funny. What? What video is that? What are you talking about? Is there a video I don't know about? Quango Demon Hunters. Need to watch it now? Ah, shit. Alright, let's finish out the Bosmer first and then I'll go look it up. It's really short. Okay. It's like 30 seconds. Oh, okay. Let's finish out the Bosmer first and then I'll look it up.
On a flower, or you risk having them turn into werebeasts and eat you. They are so flimsy, brainwashed, and live for such a short time, they aren't even useful as farm tools. But well, now you know, Nerevar.
Hater.
If you cross paths with a Bosmer, know that they all are like this, even if they don't show it. Just don't get too close to their kitchen, or hang out with them if there is a full moon or red moon. But don't you feel refreshed? Welcome again, Nerevar. Come and make your...
Okay. Next is Altmer. Hey, Shu. Oh boy.
Hey, Powder, I was watching my friend work out, and while eating my Big Mac, we heard a scream. We ran to the women's locker room and found Chris Chan cranking his girl penis.
Oh my god.
The Trolls police were trying to remove him when I screamed, "Leave her alone." The Trolls police were intimidated by my meatball frame and stopped. Everyone clapped, then I tipped my fedora and me and Chris left together. I am now banned from Planet Fitness.
I don't know how you come up with this shit. Back to this guy. Flaming all the races. We're on to the Altmer. We got the Bosmer, we got the Altmer now.
Yourself comfortable. I made you wait, I know, but we will now unveil 10 reasons to completely despise the Altmer, or piss elf, the one Nord-Enwa term I find useful in this one case. Number 1, elitist attitude. Imagine strolling through the pristine streets of Alinor, the capital of the Somerset Isles, where every Altmer walks with an air of superiority so palpable, it's as if they were born with their noses permanently tilted upwards towards the stars. From the haughty arch of their perfectly sculpted eyebrows to the disdainful curl of their lips, they exude an aura of entitlement that makes even the most confident of visitors feel like a lowly beggar in their presence. I am a god. How dare they make a god feel like a lowly beggar? Their condescension knows no bounds as they casually dismiss any notion of equality with a flick of their delicate wrists, leaving no doubt as to their belief in their own divine right to rule over all. Number 2, arrogance in heritage. Step into the hallowed halls of the Crystal Tower, where the Altmer gather to regale each other with tales of their illustrious ancestry, stretching back millennia. They speak of their forebears with a reverence usually reserved for gods, weaving intricate tapestries of grandeur and glory that paint a picture of a race destined for greatness. Their pride in their heritage is matched only by their utter disdain for those they deem unworthy of sharing in their lineage, as if the mere act of being born outside of their noble bloodline is a stain upon one's very existence. In their perfect view of the world, they should be the only Mer, the only intelligent creatures to inhabit Nirn. Number 3, supremacist society. Behold the utopian paradise of Alinor, where the Altmer reigns supreme over all aspects of society with an iron fist wrapped in silk gloves. From the opulent palaces of the elite to the sprawling slums of the disenfranchised, their influence permeates every facet of life, a constant reminder of their pointless dominance. They view themselves as the pinnacle of civilization, the epitome of perfection. What a grand and intoxicating innocence, and of course anyone who dares to challenge their superiority is swiftly put in their place with a withering glare, a sharp tongue, and very likely a blade to the neck or a permanent residence in some underground prison away from further polluting their view. Number 4, snobbish spellcasters. I respect magic users, sorcerers, and wizardry in general, Nerevar, but I can and will make an exception with these piss elves. Picture the Altmer mages, their robes billowing behind them like the wings of a majestic bird as they stride confidently through the halls of the College of Sepiarchs.
I love them.
They wield magic with a finesse and precision that borders on arrogance, their every spell cast with an air of superiority that leaves lesser mortals quaking in their boots. To them, the arcane arts are not just a means to an end. but a birthright bestowed upon them by their illustrious ancestors, and they wield their power with all the grace and confidence of those who know they are destined for greatness. The sole fact that they think it's a divine right for them to own magic is preposterous. 5. Eternal contempt for other races. Journey to the bustling markets of Alinor, where the Altmer merchants ply their wares with a very obvious and clear sneer for anyone foolish enough to haggle over prices. They view the other races of Tamriel as little more than uncultured savages, their customs and traditions a mockery of the refined elegance of Altmer society. They turn up their noses at the mere mention of non-Altmer cultures, as if the very thought of stooping to their level is beneath their dignity. Stagnation.
Oh, actually, we just got a raid. Welcome in! A bean raid! Oh my god, is that Celestia? We were just talking about her. Hi, raiders. Sorry, we're in sub-only mode for now. We had a bot raid earlier that was like spamming the word kek. It was literally just like kek test, kek test. Freaking. Welcome in regardless. Hello, I'm Powdur. And I am doing a subathon currently. I'm playing Skyrim for the first time. But for now, I am taking a little bit of a break and eating some salad, eating my dinner, and we're watching this video that's called 100 Reasons to Hate Elder Scrolls Player Races. And it's pretty amusing. So feel free to kick back, relax, and enjoy your time hanging out with me. We should be able to disable the sub-only mode soon. At some point. Thank you very much for the follows, everyone. Welcome on in. I'll be here, until for an hour. And then tomorrow I start back up at 10 a.m. PST. So if you don't have anything to do tomorrow, I'll be around. It's already off? Oh, okay, cool. Hey, Powdur. Hi, Sunny. Hi, Jim. Hi, Celestium. Nice to see you. I was gonna watch that vid as well. Let's watch it together. Well, you might have to watch the first, 11 minutes? Celestium, I saw the video that Holy Balls made for you. I really liked it. It was so wholesome. Did it make you cry? It felt like kind of emotional, you know? It was so good. I cry, yeah. Speaking of, it was cute. It was very cute. Sup, hi Freedom Fighter, welcome in. Why them elves be sexy? Well, I don't know about the high elves. The high elves are piss elves. They look really weird. This video for you was so much fun. Yeah, I'm like blown away by the amount of support. It's great to see. Actually, now that I think of it, are you going to keep playing Skyrim after the subathon ends? I think so. I also really do want to play the new Resident Evil 9 though, so it's difficult. I mean, how long did it take, if you guys played Resident Evil 9, how long did it take you to finish it? Take care, Powdur. Hope to yap with you soon. Bye, Celestium. Sleep well. Thank you for the raid. I'll see you around, okay? Say goodbye to Skyrim after this. I'm still playing it. Oh. Okay. So, you're still playing it? Couple hours, but I'm a god gamer. Oh my gosh, a couple hours. You a speedrunner? The Piss Elves also have ape servants. What? Whoa. I wonder if it's gonna talk about that. Hi HJ. You really like the numbers 6 and 9, don't you? Some people said 14 hours, but I'm sure it's a lot longer. Really? Okay.
I had to cancel my sub since mobile costs more than Twitch on PC. I will resub this coming week on PC when I need to renew it. Powdur hug Powdur love Powdur head pat Powdur lubbers.
-1 to the sub goal then. Oh, that's fine. Hey, that's totally fine. I think it's really upsetting that it costs more on mobile. So, I totally get it. Thank you for the bits. Is the TTS Caleb Hammer? Oh, no, I don't think so. Have you ever revealed your face? I have. Yeah, I have. I think about 4 years ago, I really I showed my face a couple times on Instagram. Yeah, but it's not something that I promote, and I don't believe you can find it anywhere else anymore, but I have shown myself in the past. Lithium, thank you for the sub. Thank you so much. According to Google, a casual playthrough can be like 16 hours. You're 11 hours in. Oh, okay. Let me see. 14 hours.
People legs peepow.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, so if I were to... Oh, Vex, happy 37 months. Thank you so much. Thank you for the resub. Thank you for all your hard work too, by the way. Thank you, thank you. Oh, Anka, thank you for the 5 as well. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we could finish Resident Evil 9 in a week and a half if I play it during my normal streams. If it's just like the 3-hour long streams, because I'll talk for an hour and then maybe play the game for another 2 hours. So then, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So probably in about a week and a half. Stay hidden, it's much safer. Yeah, that's why I don't really take too many photos nowadays, is because, you know, it's just not super safe being a female content creator. And it's also like, I'm a VTuber, you know? It's not something that I want to promote to people, because it's not, it's, you know, people associate my voice with my character. They don't associate it with like an actual human being, even if I am an actual human being. So I don't promote my like face and stuff, or I don't need the validation from online, really. It's just how it goes. 3 weeks max, you think? 1% creeps cause 99% of the problems? Yeah. All it takes is like one unhinged person, right? Best to stay safe, yeah. I don't think she's real, chatters. Yeah. No, I'm real. I'm a very real person. But yeah, I'm a VTuber, so it doesn't, you know, need to be a thing. I mean, kudos to the face cam streamers out there. They're really, you know, putting themselves on the line there. doing a big risk there. So, woo-wee. Especially the girls. Like Emiru, for instance, right? She's like a face. She uses her face and stuff, and she's like the largest female streamer, you know? And she's had to deal with some creepy stuff.
You're a human being. Why did nobody tell me that? Well, that's my immersion ruined.
Oh, no! Another one bites the dust. Sad. She uses her face. Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. She's not like a VTuber. People call them flesh tubers, which kind of sounds gross, but yeah. Every time she brings it up, I get sus. Why? Why so sus? Unless they're robots. Did the TTS cost get raised to 300? It did, yes. It got raised yesterday, because there was just a lot of Skyrim spam and stuff, and it's a little overstimulating. So yeah, I got raised for the sake of you know, the event, the subathon and stuff, and a lot of TTS going off. And sometimes my TTS crashes too, unfortunately. Kind of like when you guys were doing the claps. When you guys were going wild with the claps, you crashed my applications. Restrictions have to be put in place. But that was a good time regardless anyway, all the clapping. It was like for something really good. So, you know, it's just what happens. She's the fleshiest of tubers. Me? Clap, 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 clap. I don't know why some people insist on tower posting. What kind of tower? Powder, you sound nice. I'd rather you not show yourself. Ruin my immersion being a 300-pound black dude or worse. You're right. You're right. You're right. I don't want to show you guys that I'm a 300-pound black dude, you know? I gotta keep the image alive, the image of Powder in your minds fresh. You just gotta think of the elf wife, the elf girl, you know? Elf girl. Why would that be worse? Oh, you're saying you'd like that. Okay. 600 pounds now? I'm 600 pounds? Did you also eat Big Macs like Smug Alana? Big Macs? No, I don't eat Big Macs. I think what I'll eat from McDonald's is like a Happy Meal, honestly, because it comes with apple slices. And I'll usually get a milk and some apple slices with a 4-piece chicken nugget, and that's about it. Cause is after a while it just is very blah. Like fast food. Ugh. And there's like different tiers to fast food, right? Like you have the top tier fast food, which is like Chick-fil-A. And then you have the lower tier fast food, which is like the McDonald's and the Arby's and like Jack in the Box, stuff like that. Like it's just like slop, you know. So I can't handle it. Taco Bell, yeah, Taco Bell's really cheap, yeah. I actually lost 4 300-pound black guys in a trench coat. Oh, I'm just 4 300-pound. What? Oh my god. The only thing I want from fast food restaurants is Baja Blast. Oh yeah, that'll give you a nice sugar kick. Stop talking about food. Oh man, sorry. Speaking of food, I should get back to it. Let me finish my food. Let's watch the video. Let's watch the video. Sorry, I keep going off on tangents. It's nice to talk to you guys, but also I forget to take care of myself. So back to it I go.
Refusing to acknowledge the changing tides of the world around them.
IJT, welcome back.
They are like children playing at being gods, unaware of how their own imaginary empire crumbles beneath their feet, every step leading them ever closer to their inevitable downfall. I'd have to say that every reason of this list is a grand and intoxicating innocence at this rate.
Stinky
but I
Altmer.
hate being repetitive. Number 7, cultural stagnation. Wander through the halls of the Crystal Tower, where the Altmer clings stubbornly to the relics of a bygone era. Their reluctance to embrace change a testament to their own stagnation. While the rest of Tamriel marches boldly into the future, the Altmer remain mired in the past, their unwillingness to adapt a glaring indictment of their own narrow-mindedness. They view progress as a threat to their way of life, clinging desperately to the crumbling ruins of their once great civilization, like a drowning man clutching at straws. They are the prime example for someone who does not honor the 6th house and the tribe unmourned. Number 8, Thalmor tyrants tremble before the might of the Thalmor. Oh no, so scary, ha! Those self-appointed guardians of Altmer supremacy who wield their power with all the grace and subtlety of a sledgehammer. They crush dissent with ruthless efficiency, if efficiency means leaving a trail of blood and corpses in their wake, their iron grip on Tamriel tightening with each passing day. They view themselves as the saviors of their race, the vanguard of a new era of not only Altmer dominance, but that of men and Myr. And anyone who dares to stand in their way is swiftly dealt with in the most brutal manner possible.
Oh.
They wouldn't last a minute against one of my ascended sleepers. Number 9, hubris of the highest order. The Altmer are so convinced of their own infallibility that they cannot fathom the possibility of being wrong. They view themselves as paragons of virtue and wisdom, their arrogance so blinding that they cannot see the folly of their ways. They believe themselves to be above reproach, immune to criticism or doubt, and woe betide anyone who dares to challenge their divine right to rule. I will forever wonder how on Nirn these people came to be. When and where did things go wrong? I mean, we do technically come from the same place, and as disgusting and gagging it may sound, they are a species close to ourselves, like cousins even. Now you see why old Veloth chose to leave that place.
Gator.
Be thankful to him.
Thank you for gifting us
Number
some.
10. They are pretentious pricks. In conclusion, what can be said of the Altmer that has not already been said? They are a race of pretentious pricks, their arrogance matched only by their ignorance. It's as if they were a whole race
Powdur
of golden
reminds me of
Nazim.
Altmer.
Their disdain
What?
for all other races is a reflection of their own insecurities and
God.
shortcomings. They are like school bullies, but on a civilization scale. They
Overcompensate.
view themselves as the pinnacle of creation, the very epitome of perfection.
Little
and
dealer,
anyone
thank
who
you for the
dares
prime
to
sub.
suggest otherwise is swiftly dismissed as a heretic or a fool. Really, there is little to admire
Heresy.
in such a race, but so much more to despise.
Warhammer
Come,
mentioned.
friend. Come, let Maik share his wisdom with you. Let Maik tell you why the Dark Elves,
It's
or the
Maik!
Dunmer, are probably the worst of the worst in the whole of Tamriel. They are quite the prudish and cruel bunch, and are absolutely self-absorbed. You may feel bad for them due to what happened with the Red Year, but their self-absorbed nature led to this situation. In fact, how they ended up on Morrowind and got their weird grey-blue skin happened was all their fault. Allow Maik to elaborate. First and foremost, they used Khajiit and Argonian kin as farm tools. No one else does this, not even the Altmer, who allowed some of Maik kin to join the Thalmor. Maik does not like the Thalmor, but it is much better than being a farm tool working for house dress. They do not treat us as individuals, but merely as tools. We are at the whims of their whips, working on plantations. We are even second-class citizens among farm tools, yes. The Dunmer prefer the scaly ones over us, and that is unacceptable. We are much better than the Argonians, but Khajiit is getting ahead of himself. This is a Dunmer hate sermon, not an Argonian hate sermon. That is a job for the masked exhibitionist, yes? The second reason is that unless you are a Dunmer born and raised in Morrowind, Maik hates to break the news to you, but you are an Outlander, or how they Dunmer like to say it. You are an Enwa. Yes,
Enwa.
even if you are a Dunmer from any other province of Tamriel, you are still an Enwa, and you will be treated horribly. Generally, there is a very narrow number of individuals that the Morrowind Dunmer approve of. They do not even trust each other, as there is an organization called the Morag Tong. If you pay the Morag Tong handsomely, you can eliminate any of your opponents. And unlike the Dark Brotherhood, it is wholly legalized through their writ of executions. The third reason is that some despicable individuals ruled them, called the Tribunal for thousands of years, who pretended to be gods by harnessing the powers of the heart of Lorkhan. The Dunmer blindly followed these egomaniacs for thousands of years. We are not talking hundreds, thousands, and none of them dared question them until the masked exhibitionist Dagoth Ur started causing problems. Then their power
Dagoth.
started fading. Suddenly, the Nerevar Reborn
Hi,
shows
Ernest.
up. Yes? Well, the Morrowind Dunmer started treating him horribly and tried to get rid of him in various ways. The temple would not even acknowledge his existence. However, the Nerevarine teaches the Tribunal a lesson by destroying the heart of Lorkhan and confronting them with their own mortality. The fourth reason is connected to the third reason. They were once connected with the Altmer, yes? Then some old
Hi,
man
Bro
named
Fox.
Veloth comes in and leads them out of Morrowind into some ash-covered and harsh land where nothing barely grows. Yes, there are some places that are arable, but overall, this is a harsh and dangerous place filled with creatures that even Maik is afraid of. And that says a lot, because Maik knows everything there is to know. Here is the sixth reason. The whole ancestor worship practice has led to the emergence of a lot of ghosts, bone lords, zombies, and many other
Ew.
nasty undead
Dark
creatures that
elves.
wander not only the tombs, but the
Stinky.
ruins and the homes of the Morrowind Dunmer. Other than the Blight and Corpus infestation that the masked exhibitionist unleashed upon Morrowind, they create the most annoying gathering of zombified Dunmer.
Oh.
Truly, they are zombies in life and death.
Hi,
The seventh
Angry.
reason is that the moment the
Just by the way, Dunmer hate necromancy. Ironic that there's Dunmer necromancy in Skyrim. Ah.
Dunmer witness one
Huh.
dream from the masked exhibitionist, they decide to become exhibitionists themselves, talking nonsense, worse than skooma addicts. They agreed to grow gross tentacles from their faces, as if that was not enough.
Oh.
Have you seen ash ghouls?
Ew.
Have you seen ascended sleepers?
No.
Only Dunmer would agree to get those on their face.
Oh.
Not to mention the corpus stalkers infesting the
Good
whole
night,
of
Uranium.
Vardenfell. Now, those are not all necessarily Dunmer, but it is contained within Vardenfell.
I got
And
to
most
watch
of the
Powder
crazy
before I
ones
went
that
to
live
work,
on this
and now I
ash
get to watch
desert
Powder when I get home
are
from
the
work.
Dunmer.
Yay!
The eighth reason.
What's the channel? I want to see the vid that Powder's watching. Zake and Zach, and it's called The 100 Reasons to Hate Elder Scrolls Player Races compilation.
The Dunmer do not deserve any respect, is the hypocrisy they exhibit when it comes to treating the Khajiit and Argonians as criminals that go beyond the use of Maik's kin as farm tools. Maik does not deny that Argonians and Khajiit are overrepresented in the Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild, various bandit factions, and other shady organizations. And yes, we are involved in the skooma trade. However,
Druggies!
there are almost as many Dunmer engaged in these activities. There are quite a few Dunmer bandits, skooma smugglers, thieves, and assassins that work both for the Dark Brotherhood and the Morag Tong. Not to forget, they have criminal organizations such as the Kamona Tong. There are a lot more Dunmer necromancers than Khajiit and Argonian necromancers. Do you see, your prejudice against the beast folk has made you blind to the reality of Dunmer crime statistics, yes? The ninth reason is the complete chaotic governing structure that they have. The great houses control certain territories of Morrowind, where they do as they please and build whatever they please, making it a complicated mess to navigate. Not to forget, there are also Ashlander tribes who do whatever they please and create chaos across Morrowind. They are also a special breed of Dunmer.
Mike knows
But
many
there is
things.
more.
He does.
There is also Mournhold, with a king who has an
you for the
entirely
hydrate.
different style and form of government. Look, Khajiit understands political complexities. We have them. But pretending to have order amid absolute chaos is not the best decision. There are also Imperial territories in Morrowind where everyone lives in relative peace and provides protection for Khajiit and Argonians from the Dunmer.
Oh.
Well, at least they did until the Empire fell.
Ah.
The 10th and final reason is that with all honesty, the Dunmer are skilled in many things, but they are not masters of anything.
Oh.
The Altmer and the Bretons are better magic casters than they are. The Nords and the Orcs are better warriors. The Imperials are better at trade and speechcraft. Argonians and the Khajiit are better thieves, and so on and so forth. The Dunmer would be a solid A-tier race, but not the S-tier that the masked exhibitionist always portrays them to be.
You farm tool, what are you doing in my heart chamber? I will destroy you. Come, Nerevar, come. It has been a while since I managed to hold a sermon due to interruptions
Mike,
by
the
certain
liar.
farm tools.
Okay, so Dargoth is worshipped by the Dunmer? That's kind of what I'm getting from this? He's not? Oh. What's his, I don't understand who he is. Gotta go, have a nice stream. Thank you, Sunny. Have a good day. It would be a spoiler. Oh, okay. Alright. No worries. Next is Khajiit, and then Argonians. The lizard people. Orcs, Bretons, Nords, Imperials, Redguards, others. There's others, which is a bonus. I don't know if we'll get to it tonight, but we'll keep going. He's just a silly feller. Okay, he's just a silly guy. Alright, alright. Fair enough.
Khajiit did nothing wrong. Let go of Khajiit.
Now that's taken care of. Today we are going to do a farm tool product review.
Huh?
Specifically the Khajiit and the 10 reasons why you should not buy this particular farm tool and opt for the more durable option, the Argonian.
Damn.
However, that product also deserves its own review. That is for a later date, Nerevar. Let us begin this furry review. The first reason the Khajiit do not honor the 6th house and the tribe unmourned is that their whole appearance depends on a moon cycle. Depending on how Masser and Secunda decide to dance, they look either like farm tools or enwas or something in between.
Oh.
It gets very confusing, Nerevar. Some of them look like saber cats or mountain lions or whatever. Some of them look like regular house cats. Now they all had these weird farm tool names. Cathay, Suthay, whatever. I am not going to waste my time going into Khajiit lore. If you want a Khajiit lore sermon, I can bring the farm tool back before I throw him into Red Mountain lava and make him pay for stealing my sermons. The second reason why these farm tools are vile is the copious amounts of moon sugar and skooma that they have been producing throughout Tamriel. While it is possible to make skooma in various other places in Tamriel, these farm tools are the most proficient distributors of skooma. They have a higher tolerance for moon sugar than everyone else, which allows them to function to a greater extent, which does not say much. However, a farm tool Khajiit on skooma is a very destructive machine. They wreak havoc everywhere they go and are usually apprehended and put to work while in that state. So it is straightforward to catch them, Nerevar. However, skooma and moon sugar being such a staple in Khajiit culture, it contributes to the following reason these farm tools need to be disposed of. The third reason is the increased crime rate among the Khajiit. Yes, I know the Dunmer also have a high number of crimes, but those crime rates come from Enwa Dunmer, not Morrowind born and bred. Anyhow, there are quite a bit of Khajiit bandits roaming around all of Tamriel and threatening you on the road. Seriously, the majority of bandits that encountered in Cyrodiil are Khajiit. Not to mention, they are also thieves that sneak around stealing things or lockpicking your doors to ransack your estate.
Wow.
This is what you get if you give Khajiit freedom, Nerevar. They should be used as farm tools and farm tools only. Otherwise, they will be using tools to break into your house, into your safe, and into anything with a pickable lock.
We're learning about
most
the
of
races.
their pantheon is either liars, tricksters, skooma consumers, and other scum that dare call themselves gods. Seriously, Nerevar, look at their false gods. Bandar is literally the
like
bandit
the
god, a bandit
of Elder
god.
Scrolls.
Imagine becoming a false god and then becoming a bandit robbing people for money. What a grand and intoxicating innocence. They also have a skooma cat god that is known to cause mischief across Elswire and Tamriel. Generally, their pantheon is absolutely worthless, and they should worship me, Dagoth-Ur, the real god, instead. Even farm tools need religion, Nerevar. The fifth reason, Nerevar, is that they are awful merchants. Yeah, you've heard too many times the famous Khajiit has wares if you have coin. But honestly, their wares are extremely cheap, while the prices are inflated to such an extent that even the Dark Brotherhood contract on the Mongrel Dog Emperor will not cover it. While you might get a few trinkets here and there, you will be disappointed by the overall quality.
You missed
Only
the
buy
blatant
Dunmer
racism
quality
of old
products,
school Elder
Nerevar,
Scrolls.
which include
I
Khajiit
love
themselves.
it.
It is better to use them as goods rather than buying goods from them, if you know what I mean.
It's how
The
it
sixth
should be.
reason. The Khajiit don't honor the 6th house and the tribe unmourned is because they cannot really speak properly. Look, the other farm tools, the Argonians, cannot really speak properly either, but at least they are better than the Khajiit. These furry farm tools never refer to themselves in the first person. They either call themselves by their own name, Khajiit, like we did not know they were Khajiits by their fur and pointy ears, or this one. It gets very tedious talking to them. They sound like Rolf from Ed, and Eddie. They almost always add yes at the end of their sentences, seeking affirmation. Speaking of the sentences, they always have a jumbled word order that leaves you confused. Nerevar, what do you mean I am reaching? This is a perfectly valid reason why they should be farm tools, rather than be integrated into civilized society. Apologize now by subscribing to my sermons, raising your thumbs, and writing on the parchment down below. The seventh reason is that they generally make for awful warriors.
Oh.
No, I am not talking about the exceptions like Carjo, Jazargo, or any farm tool that was added with the use of a mod. Just generally, they are weak and have a hard time keeping up with Dunmer, the Argonian farm tools, and all other Enwas that are out there. Their hand-to-hand combat perk is very easy to counter. And other than sneak attacks, they are completely useless in open combat. Seriously, Nerevar. Instead of being mercenaries, traders, thieves, assassins, or warriors, they should just consider collectively being farm tools for House Dagoth. The eighth reason is that they work for the Thalmor against their own interest.
What?
Seriously, Nerevar, the Thalmor want to eliminate the Khajiit, while the Dunmer want to make them into farm tools, which is a win-win situation for both the Dunmer and the Khajiit. Sure, some Khajiit work for the Thalmor, but this is only a temporary arrangement before they get the Pelinal Whitestrake treatment. The Altmer Enwas are not the benevolent masters that
You
the
went to bed,
Khajiit
woke up,
working for
powder's
the
still
Thalmor
going.
perceive
Yeah.
them to be.
Good morning.
The ninth reason is that their government system is a confederacy, a complete chaos. Yes, Nerevar, I admit. Dunmer have a complicated and broken system governing as well, but the Elsewire Confederacy is something else. There are very loose regions that are mostly covered in desert. There are no laws, moon sugar everywhere, complete anarchy, and an overabundance of farm tools that cannot get along with each other. The two biggest kingdoms of Anaquina and Palatine cannot keep their stability together. I mean, Nerevar, did you expect more from these farm tools? Did you think thieves, scammers, assassins, and lousy fighters would be able to govern their own country? What a fool you are. The 10th and final reason is they are absolutely easily manipulated. They follow the Daedric Prince Azura.
He is.
Seriously, Azura
He is going so hard on them, especially the Khajiit. He hates them especially. Hey, we have Azura's star. I know Azura.
may appear like a kind and benevolent Daedric prince, but she is treacherous and will curse anyone who does not bend to her will.
Oh.
She turned all Dunmer into Chimer Nerevar. Anyhow, the Khajiit got manipulated into worshipping her. The Thalmor claimed that they returned Masser and Secunda, and the Khajiit believed them probably because they were drinking copious amounts of skooma to cope with the loss of these moons, completely unaware that the Thalmor were conning them. They also let themselves be conquered by the mongrel dogs of the Empire several times, while Morrowind remained
Whoa, Hammerhead, thank you for the 10 kick subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super appreciate it. Thank you so much.
independent the first two times. In any case, I still stand by my argument that the only class that they should pick is Farm Tool and come to Morrowind. They are supposed to be good at cheating and scamming everyone, yet paradoxically, they are very quickly tricked themselves. Come, Nerevar, come, for I shall now further educate you on today's hating trends.
Okay.
One cannot hate these Enwas properly if you remain ignorant about them to do so.
Right.
And believe me, they have changed drastically over the eras. It's almost amazing how they can so easily evolve and enhance others' hatred towards them in just a few hundred years.
Oh?
In this sermon, I'll teach you about Argonians. It may not look like it, but I am actually an authority in the topic. So let me enrich your brain,
Thalmor
Nerevar.
is the Wood Elves, right? No, the Thalmor are a group of High Elves. They're High Elves that are incredibly hostile to any other race that is not a High Elf. A faction. There you go. Bosmer was the Wood Elves. Yeah, Bosmer are the Wood Elves. If I have to play an elf racer, I would be a dark elf. Really? They're high elf supremacists. Piss elves. Yep. Are there any low elves? Well, I wonder if the argument could be made that it's the Bosmer, because the Bosmer live more primitively than the high elves do. So I don't know. I guess low elf in terms of technology, perhaps? Oh, whoa! Thank you, Beefology. Thank you for the 10. Wow! Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Altmer are like the high elf CIA. They want to destabilize governments to condition them for regime change. Regime change? Oh my god. Technically, true orcs are low elves since they are Orsmer. Oh, orcs. Yeah, we haven't gotten to orcs yet. They're after Argonians. We have Argonians, orcs, Bretons, Nords, Imperials. Oh, the Nord one is pretty long. Imperials, Redguards, and then others. There's just others. They are left-handed elves, but if I had to be an elf, I would be a snow elf. Ah. The Falmar. The Falmar. Yeah. That's probably in the other category, because I don't know. I'm still learning about the races. I think I've run into all of the main ones in the game so far. So, this is kind of like a fun lore dump. And it's just giving me reasons to hate, which is funny.
1. Lack of ambition.
Yeah, I'm learning how to be a better Skyrim racist.
In this sermon, I'll teach you about Argonians. It may not look like it, but I am actually an authority in the topic. So let me enrich your brain, Nerevar. 1. Lack of ambition. Deep within the recesses of their swamp-laden territories, the Argonians exemplify a stark absence of ambition that permeates their very core. Unlike the more civilized races striving for intellectual society.
Wait, there they are! You said the Falmer! They were right there! Hold on,
Their
I'll
very
pause.
core. Unlike the more...
The Dwemer, the Dunmer... Oh, what is it? The Chimer? The Sinistral elves? Aelid? Oh my gosh, there are lots of elves. Wow.
Civilized races striving for intellectual, societal, and cultural ascendancy, these scaly denizens seem tethered to an existence bereft of visionary aspirations. Their longing for greatness remains but a flickering ember in the face of stagnation, failing to kindle the fires necessary to etch a mark upon the annals of history beyond their permanent sidekick status to everyone else. Their absence of ambition manifests as a lamentable surrender to a mundane and pathetic existence, devoid of meaningful goals. 2. Primitive nature. Picture a society deeply entrenched in the past, clutching fervently to archaic customs and rituals as if ensnared within the bindings of tradition. The Argonians, encapsulated within the time-warped realm of their swampy domains, exhibit a reluctance to relinquish their primitive ways to give way to actual civilization. Their societal framework remains shackled by the chains of primordial origins, halting any sort of advance or evolution in any aspect of their lives. Buildings made with stone blocks and sticks, a bare semblance of individuality in their daily lives, and a sad level of development brought only by their mimicry upon the other races and whatever they may steal
What
during their
4chan green
raids.
text is he reading off?
3. Unsavory aesthetics. Contemplate their physical aspect, an uneven mosaic of scales, a tail with no function and unremarkable beady eyes, lacking the elegance and sophistication of any mer or even the most basic features of men. Their outward appearance stands as a testament to the absence of refined aesthetic sensibilities, devoid of any feature that may indicate a sliver of reason and civil behavior.
Ooh, this is the guy who you get as a follow from the mod I told you about. Oh, Dargoth. Oh, okay, as a follower. That's cool.
Which is further accentuated by their archaic practices.
Can you blame him?
Their not very fashionable, feathery and leathery garment and accessories. They are but a sorry imitation of the more superior races, made with the lowliest creatures as base, while not even caring about the details that make them unique.
Dagoth.
4. limited
Dagoth.
intelligence.
Durgoth.
Unfortunately, the cognitive faculties of the
can't
Argonians
remember.
resemble a flickering candle amidst a starry sky of intellect. Their mental acuity, if any, struggles to grasp the intricacies and profundities shaping our world
they're
and society.
ugly and stupid.
Incapable of engaging in conversations or contributing meaningfully to the pursuit of knowledge, they remain ensnared within their swamps of intellectual obscurity, unable to transcend the confines of mediocrity. A cultural mindset that inherently wards them off any sort of intelligent reasoning only aids their ignorance. Not even their own language and customs are developed enough for them to use whatever they may call their brains, let alone learning new things that are not related to stealing and violence. 5. Primitive magic, come Nerevar, and be witness to their feeble attempts to put their reptilian hands into the arcane realm of magic. The Argonians navigate the labyrinthine corridors of mystical knowledge, blind and stumbling upon everything their tiny minds struggle to comprehend. Their rudimentary grasp of mysticism, a mere semblance of true arcane mastery, pales in comparison to the understanding exhibited by the civilizations that created and refined the arts of magic. All they are limited to are powers that imitate magic by making sacrifices to dangerous and lowly Daedra, by praying to the primordial forces of the universe as if they even had any right or capabilities to do so to begin with. They are but insects trying to grasp at the powers of gods. It is both their lack of finesse at wielding magicka and their mental incapability to properly learn it that makes them lesser to any other species out there. Even creatures such as harpies and slodes have their own expertise over certain aspects of magic.
Damn.
That should be enough proof to their inferiority.
Jesus.
6. Savage society. Envision a society devolving around a feral sense of tribalism and primal impulses, devoid of the refinement, structure, and cultural development distinctive of a proper and real civilization. These farm tools revel in a brutish existence, forsaking the elegance and sophistication of a more advanced culture. Their societal construct, a cacophony of untamed impulses, stands in contrast against the evolutionary hallmarks of cultural refinement and complexity. Even their mediocre hierarchy can only be compared to that of a pack
Thank
of
you for the
animals,
follows, guys.
even if it is
Welcome
all
in.
an imaginary construct to entertain themselves as they follow the orders of the hist trees whenever they feel like compelling them to their desires. 7. Subservience to the hist.
The
The
hist.
Argonians are, in all essence and form, creatures bound to the hist. These alien trees created the Argonians by modeling local reptile species into the shape of men and mer for the purpose of having a subservient species present to tend them.
Oh.
Bound unyieldingly to these ridiculous sacred tree entities, they willingly relinquish their will and identity, ensnared in a cycle of servitude that reduces them to mere marionettes, dancing to the whims of their wooden overlords. I'd say this is a bad thing due to their genetically implanted servitude to those damn trees, but while they are far from them, or their sap, this
Thank you for
actually
reminding me to
conditions
follow
them into
Sorry
becoming
Cats.
ideal
it's all
farm
good.
tools. They just change ownership. 8.
Change
Stagnant
ownership.
culture.
We're literally
Millennia have
slaves.
passed, yet the cultural legacy of the Argonians remains hidden behind piles of ignorance and primitive practices. Obstinate in their adherence to archaic customs, they exhibit great aversion to evolution and growth. A culture that stagnates in the ebb and flow of time, reluctant to embrace the winds of change, faces an inevitable descent into irrelevance amidst the relentless march of progress. The refusal to adapt or evolve underscores their cultural stagnation. Not like they have anything proper to begin with, that is, so they might as well add something to it.
That could be
Or, well,
why I
they
never
could just
played an Argonian before. I know, he's totally turning me off from playing any race ever. But, I don't know. I guess if you wanted to be like super LARPy, you could in Skyrim with these different races. That might be a fun route to go. I think it's funny that I chose a Bosmer, and he's talking about like the shape shifting and stuff. And I became a werewolf as well. So it's like lore accurate, but like I did it on accident. And I felt really bad about stabbing that tree for Whiterun's tree. And I don't know, there was something about how the Bosmer, they love trees and they don't want to hurt nature or something. I don't know. That was kind of funny.
stay as they are, making them easier to mold once they get to Morrowind. 9. Lack of artistic expression. Where, one might ponder, are the opulent tapestries woven by Argonian artisans, or the inspiring songs written by their bards? Their creativity is non-existent.
Oh,
They lack
damn.
the richness and vibrancy that art, literature, and music impart to the soul. The absence of artistic expressions further accentuates the banal and monotonous cadence of their existence, reflecting their cultural impoverishment and creative limitations. Not even their language has the clarity of understanding. They mince unarticulated words and mix them up with hisses and guttural sounds, just like the animals they used to be. Or well,
Dang.
they still are. What little could be called artistic remains primitive, as if it was some tribe still figuring out what they are
It's
sensing
actually
with
kind
their
of impressive,
lobotomized
right,
looking
Corvus?
eyes. 10. Inconsequential influence. Gaze upon Tamriel's history, Nerevar, and you shall find not even a scratch, let alone even a carving made by Argonians, nor anything that may be a mark of their presence in this world. They are inconsequential creatures, sore thumbs sticking out under a sheet. No one sees them, and no one cares about seeing them. It is a miracle they even have thumbs at all. Most people and even scholars doubt their facts about them due to their lack of essence. The absence of substantial contributions to history underscores their insignificance. At the end of the day, Enwas shall be Enwas, and farm tools shall be farm tools. If anything, they are at least useful as the latter, but remember to not just grab any Argonian you find. That's unhygienic and may be dangerous if manipulated incorrectly. Always get your farm tools from your local house dress store and look for their seal of quality. Ah, Nerevar, my friend and brother, come and... What do you mean I like orcs? Yes, Nerevar, I still...
What? Orcs? He likes orcs? I killed an orc. He wanted to die. I think that's pretty much been my run-in with orcs. Was that one guy wanting to die a warrior's death?
still remember last year's sermon on orcs, but no, wait. No, I do not like orcs, and I'm certainly not into them. Whatever made you think that? All right, sit tight and let me fix this obvious misunderstanding with a sermon and 10 reasons as to why I do not like orcs. Number 1, Goblin Ken Association. What a splendid spectacle of camaraderie and collective ignorance. Witnessing the orcs generously bestow their muddy nests upon the goblins and ogres, it's truly a heartwarming display of, well, something, isn't it? One could almost be fooled into thinking they're all one big grotesque family, frolicking together in their delightful cesspool of depravity. Oh, how touching it is to see them wallow in their mutual ignorance like boars bathing in their own filth. It's a marvel, really, how such creatures manage to coexist in their squalid little corner of existence, blissfully unaware of anything beyond their putrid realm. Their boundless depths of ignorance and insensitivity that can thrive among certain, shall we say, less enlightened beings. One can only imagine the stimulating conversations they must have, discussing the finer points of mud pit architecture and the most efficient methods of grubbing about in filth. Number 2, violent brutality. Ah, the charm and sophistication of orcish intellect, if one could generously bestow such a title upon such dull creatures. Their brutish demeanor, reminiscent of a lumbering behemoth, is only matched by the vast emptiness lurking behind those beady eyes, adorned with drool strings cascading from their perpetually open mouths. Engaging in conversation with an orc is akin to engaging in discourse with a particularly obstinate boulder, both equally lacking in wit, charm, and any semblance of intellectual prowess. One could spend an eternity probing the depths of an orc's mind, only to find it as barren and desolate as the wastelands they inhabit. It's almost impressive how such beings manage to navigate through life with such remarkable ineptitude, relying solely on brute force and primal instincts to carry them through each day. One can't help but pity them, these poor, feeble-minded creatures, stumbling through existence with all the grace and finesse of a stampeding mammoth. But then again, perhaps it's all for the best that orcs remain blissfully unaware of their own limitations. After all, ignorance is indeed bliss, or so they say. Number 3, abominable aesthetics. Ah, the breathtaking spectacle of orcish architecture. Behold their crude constructions clinging precariously to mountainsides, fashioned from the finest materials nature has to offer. Untreated wood, Bones and leather so barely cured, one can practically sense the lingering aroma of blood and flesh. One can almost envision the proud architects, if one could call them that, painstakingly piecing together their crude dwellings like children playing with blocks, each structure a display of their utter lack of taste, refinement, or any
If Powder
shred
gets
of
anything
artistic
out of these
ability.
vids, I hope she gets at
One
least
could
the
be
ability
forgiven
to
for
write.
mistaking their
Just
so-called
as scathing
strongholds
Twitter
for the
dunks.
haphazard constructions of a
I'll
particularly
take notes.
ambitious beaver or goblin, albeit one with a penchant for incorporating the remains of its prey into its architectural projects. And let us not forget those who eschew even the semblance of
I
architecture.
like the word enwa. Enwa. I like it more than quangos. I like enwa. So are enwa specifically like they're immigrants? Is that what I get from that? Or is it just like a enwas are disgusting, basically? Outlanders. Okay, I think so, yeah, an outlander. It means outsider. I get it. Okay. What the fuck is an enwa? Just something you say. Just don't say enwa with the hard R. Why not? Enwa. Enwa. Enwa with a soft wa. Enwar. With the R. Enwar. Yeah, that sounds kind of silly, huh? Enwas would not replace us. Enwas be Enwas are foreigners and non-dark elves. Oh, okay. Non-dark elves. Okay. Didn't he say that some dark elves could be Enwas, though? We must stop importing Enwas. Yeah. Yes? Okay. Now I can edit you saying wa and mix it with noir. Enwa. Yes, Dunmer slur for foreigner. Oh, okay. So it's the Dunmer that use it. Do the Bosmer have a slur for people since I'm a Bosmer? Thank you for the follows, guys. Welcome in. Teacher about Swit 2? Swit? Nah, they just eat people. Oh, okay. Bosmer are just short and weak. How dare you? Good question. What would yours be? Yeah, what would theirs be? There is a slur for them. It's called roach. Roach? Like, what do Bosmers refer to other people as? Do they have anything specific? Swit's a good one? Swit. Dinner? Okay, dinner. They just eat them. Okay, food? Easy meal? Okay. They're too busy eating people. Okay, I get it. Nice try, Hoffema. Nice try. Prime resets in 2 days, but you can be assured it's going straight back to you, Powder. Whoa! Wow, thank you, Gwen. Very sweet of you. Not really, because we don't really have that much information about them outside of old lore. Oh, okay. Alright, well, now I know. I'm learning.
Natural vision, choosing instead to dwell in the damp darkness of caves like beasts in their dens. Number 4, embarrassing garments. Ah, yes. Let us spare ourselves the agony of discussing their lamentable forays into the realm of fashion. Behold, their armor adorned with crude spikes and barbaric embellishments, a pitiful attempt to compensate for their complete lack of style and refinement. It's as if they believe that sheer quantity of adornment can somehow mask the gaping void where taste and elegance should reside. Bones, body parts, and skin torn from creatures not meant to be skinned, all haphazardly stitched together in a grotesque tapestry
That's metal,
of savagery.
right?
One can't help but marvel at their audacity, their utter disregard for the most basic principles of aesthetic harmony. It's almost endearing in a way, like watching a child
snow elf?
proudly parade around in a
We'll
costume
probably learn about
hastily
the snow
assembled from
elves later
scraps
on in
found in
this
the attic.
video.
Oh, what a grand and
We'll have to
intoxicating
save,
innocence it must be.
We'll have to save some of this video for tomorrow. It's a long one. It's like an hour and a half. It's perfect. It's a perfect dinner video. Dinner and chat.
To believe that one can simply slap together any assortment of ghastly trinkets and call it fashion. Number 5. Shunned by the divine. Even the false gods themselves recoil in revulsion at the mere mention of the Orsimer.
They don't like him, huh?
Rejected by both Aedra and Daedra alike, they are the unwanted refuse of the divine realms, a fact that serves as a fitting reflection of their abhorrent nature. Even Malakath only ever sees them as tools for his own agenda, the one responsible for turning his people into the tusked beasts we know today.
I shall worship
And of course
this.
the true divine such as I, Dagoth-Ur, also recoil in revulsion at them. I may favor a few of their aspects ever so slightly above farm tools and Bosmer, but they still do not honor the 6th house and the tribe unmourned. Number 6. Looted capital. Orsinium, their so-called capital, has been looted and razed throughout history with almost predictable regularity. It's almost as if they are destined to be perpetual victims. Oh, how their futile attempts at civilization are inevitably crushed beneath the boot of more advanced civilizations and the greed of men. Their resilience and perseverance to rebuild is impressive, although it is born not of strength of will, but of ignorance and stubbornness. Number 7. Rampant savagery. Ah, the Orcish code of honor, a flimsy facade masking the savage brutality that lies beneath. In their primitive ways, they call their savagery in combat honorable. They cling desperately to a brutish semblance of civilization while wallowing in the filth of their own ignorance. Theirs is a culture built upon violence, a society that prizes strength above all else, a philosophy as primitive as it is repugnant. And the punchline of the joke is that in the many millennia that Orcs had since their conception, they did not develop any martial arts or techniques. In the green darkness of the Orc mind, there is only Number 8.
Wow.
Bestial bloodlines. The Orsimer are the cursed progeny of Malakath, a Daedric prince associated with the outcasts and the spurned. Their very bloodline is tainted by this association with the undesirable, serving as a constant reminder of their abominable origins. One shouldn't blame the child for the deeds of the parents, but Orcs are the exception to the rule. As generations pass, they not only refuse to fix their ways, but make them even worse. Every generation they become more and more like goblins and ogres, and less like the Mer they used to be. What fools they are. Number 9.
Fools.
Debased allegiance. Despite their hollow boasts of loyalty, Orcs are notorious for abandoning alliances when it suits their brutish whims. Their allegiance is as fleeting as a summer breeze, shifting with the fickle winds of their primitive desires. Even if they try to respect the terms, they are prone to being used and betrayed. Even as they formed part of High Rock, the Daggerfall Covenant twice, their alliance to Hammerfell, and even to the Mongrel Dog Empire. Did I say they were fools already? Oh, I did. Number 10. Intellectual inferiority. The Orcish mind is a barren wasteland compared to the fertile fields of intellect cultivated by the Dunmer. Their lack of intellectual pursuits and cultural refinement is nothing short of an affront to the glory of Morrowind, a sad testament to the depths of their ignorance. To discuss with an Orc is to stare into the abyss of stupidity and feel it staring back into you. An abyss so deep and so dark that one can only shudder in horror at the thought of what lies within. Ah, welcome, Nerevar. You are here for...
Okay. Okay, enough of the orcs, Damn. Oof. Dagoth is so based. BRB, I gotta... What? Not the abyss of stupidity. Yeah, I like that image too. That's so funny. Not that one. Bondrude. That one. The staring into the abyss of stupidity. Damn. Oof. I'm still playing Orc though. Yeah. Well, he's just shitting on everyone, you know. Besides the Dunmer, he let the Khajiit take over that one. Thank you for the follows, guys. Welcome in. Okay. Next are the Bretons. These were the guys you guys were telling me about. I think they're like half They're like halflings or something. Something.
I see. Let me check my list here a second.
Hybrids.
Bosmer is
right.
done. Orcs are done. We have not spoken about Bretons yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I remember now why I kept pushing these for later. Well, what to do about it? Sit tight and let me tell you 10 reasons, good reasons, to utterly despise Bretons.
Oof.
Number 1, lackluster magic. Yes, they wield magic. I'll give them that.
Actually, I think that is a good point to stop before we get into more of it. So we have Bretons, we have Nords, we have Imperials, we have Redguards, and we have others. So, oh, thank you for the hydrate. Thank you so much. Bretons are the best race. You play a Breton? Oh, man. I'm gonna stop it there though for the Bretons, because it's getting to be just about that time, and I don't want to get too far into it and then have to stop halfway. So, yeah. I think I'm gonna call it here though. It's about to be 8 p.m. in the next 30 seconds. And I am getting tired. I feel like I've eaten my food and I am... Whew! It has been a very eventful day. Alright, let's learn about why we should be racist against the Bretons.
Right, I remember now why I kept pushing these for later. Well, what to do about it? Sit tight and let me tell you 10 reasons, good reasons, to utterly despise Bretons. Number 1, lackluster magic. Yes, they wield magic. I'll give them that much credit. But let's not forget their origins, shall we? Bretons are but a mishmash of the feeble blood of men and the diluted essence of myrrh. Their so-called proficiency in magic is nothing but a consequence of their ancestral mingling, a weak imitation of true power. Number 2, hypocritic heritage. Yes, they carry within them the diluted blood of ancient myrrh, remnants of a time long past when the Direni ruled over their pitiful lands.
Hi, Jiglag.
And what do they do with this heritage?
Antift,
They
thank you
boast
for the
and
prime.
brag, as if their diluted lineage grants
Thank you
them
so
some
much.
sort of superiority. But let us not forget that it was the Bretons who rebelled against their elven overlords in the first place.
Oh.
The irony is palpable, Nerevar. They revel in their rebellion against the very elves whose blood they claim to cherish. Number 3, politically broken. Let us turn our gaze to the fractured and feeble political landscape of High Rock. For all their supposed culture and history, what have the Bretons truly accomplished? They have managed to splinter their lands into a myriad of petty kingdoms, each vying for dominance over the others. It's a spectacle of greed and ambition, with noble families clambering over one another in their insatiable thirst for power, all the while stabbing each other in the back with the subtlety of a comedy villain. What could be more noble indeed than hindering the progress of your own nation? Number 4, divided loyalties. The Bretons cannot seem to settle on a single side to support. One day they align...
You thought we were talking British? British? It's Sunday, isn't it?
themselves with the Altmer, basking in the false glory of elven supremacy. The next, they cozy up to the Nords, lured by promises of strength and conquest. And let us not forget their dalliances with the mongrel dog empire, groveling at the feet of their imperial masters in hopes of gaining favor and protection. But do they possess any true loyalty, Nerevar? No, they are mere fancily dressed
37
mercenaries.
moons YAA.
Yeah! 37 moons! Thank you so much, Typical. Thank you. Happy 37 moons. Cam Steele, thank you for the Prime sub as well. Wow! Appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm back. What'd I miss? We're learning how to become more racist against the Bretons, the Nords, the Imperials, the Redguards, and then there's others. We'll see if we get through it. I'm just having some lunch right now. Actually, where's my food? Where's my burger? There's my burger. There we go. Now it looks like I'm eating. So everyone then? Yeah, everyone. We started off with Bosmer, Altmer, Dunmer, Khajiit, Argonians, and Orcs. Now we're on to Bretons. And we can just choose our favorite. Which ones we want to be more racist towards. It makes Skyrim LARPing more fun, huh?
willing to sell their allegiance to the highest bidder.
Dropped bad lefty knife ear, elf gal Nea, now following base knife ear you. I don't know who elf gal Nea is, but welcome in. Let's go. Cheesy burrito, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the prime sub. Now be respectful to Romania. We gonna steal everything. Oh. Passed on my recent anime binge of the Invisible Man and his soon-to-be wife during the AFK. It was cute. Oh, did you? Elf supremacy. Yeah. Bosmer. Bosmer supremacy. I'm a Bosmer. Altmer? Mm-mm. Dunmer? Mm-mm. Disgusting.
Number 5. Primitive culture.
Time to
The
go to church
depths of
soon.
Breton
Bye.
culture, or should I say their facade of civilization. They parade around with their knights, their castles, and their noble titles, proclaiming themselves to be paragons of sophistication and refinement. But what lies beneath this veneer of supposed civilization? Druidism, of all things. Can you believe it, Nerevar? While the rest of Tamriel has moved on to worshipping the false gods, which at least call themselves gods, these Bretons still cling to their primitive beliefs in trees and rocks.
God.
Yes, they bow down before nature itself. They cosplay as Bosmer, and yet, despite the absurdity of their beliefs, these druids hold sway over the Breton populace, dictating their behavior and guiding their actions like puppets. Number 6. Orc mistreatment. At this point, you should remember from my previous sermons that the Orcs have been constantly besieged and raided since always, yes? Well, if there ever were a people to bear the blame for the plight of the Orcs, it is the Bretons themselves. Throughout history, the Bretons have been the main culprits behind all these attacks. They send their knights on crusades, not in the name of righteousness, but to plunder and pillage the lands of these overgrown goblins. The transformation of the once peaceful tribe of shamanistic orcs into hardened and brutal warriors, forced to defend themselves against the ceaseless onslaught of Breton aggression. Their very nature twisted and distorted by millennia of persecution and violence. Number 7. Worthless knighthood. For many young children, the dream of becoming a knight may seem like a romantic fantasy, adorned with shining armor, gallant steeds, and noble deeds. Yet what awaits those who don the mantle of knighthood? Far from the glory and grandeur they envision, they are thrust into a world of ceaseless warfare, where they clash against other knights in meaningless battles, with no gain or reward to be had. Gone are the days of gallant tournaments and chivalrous duels. Instead, they find themselves embroiled in endless conflicts, fighting for the petty ambitions of their lords and masters, mere tools of politics and intrigue. What a grand and intoxicating innocence. Oh, they may wear their heraldry and decorate their armor with pomp and circumstance, but in truth, they are nothing but glorified foot soldiers, expendable pawns in a game of power and politics. Even an orc warrior, with their brutal efficiency and straightforward approach to combat, is more productive than these so-called knights. Number 8. Conflicting development. You see, Nerevar, Breton society, is as divided as their loyalties and land. On one side, you have the traditionalists, clinging desperately to the vestiges of the past, embracing druidic magic, upholding the old noble hierarchy, and resisting against change and innovation. On the other side, you have the progressives, merchants with burgeoning fleets and thriving businesses, master crafters operating industrial-level smithies, and urbanization spreading like wildfire.
It's like
Yet instead of
reasons to hate
embracing the potential
races.
synergy between tradition and progress, these factions find themselves locked in a bitter struggle, each seeking to hinder the other at every turn. It is a tragic irony, Nerevar. If they could set aside their differences and work together, High Rock could easily ascend to become the preeminent power in Tamriel. But alas, their divisions prove to be their undoing. What fools they are. Number 9.
What the heck was that?
Unscrupulous merchants. The Breton merchant groups, those unscrupulous entities that wield vast wealth and influence across Tamriel, yet answer to no king nor kingdom. With their vast fleets and heavily guarded caravans traversing the length and breadth of Tamriel, amassing fortunes and consolidating power with each transaction. Take, for example, the East Empire Company, a behemoth among merchant groups, essentially a kingdom unto itself, sanctioned and empowered by the mongrel dog empire itself. They monopolize products, manipulate prices, and exploit every opportunity to line their coffers with ill-gotten gains. Number 10, Tiber Septim. Now this is the one major issue, Nerevar. One would have thought that the mongrel dogs of the Empire would restrict their little influence to Cyrodiil.
He's
But
a
no,
Breton?
Tiber Septim, Talos Stormcrown, or rather Hjalti Earlybeard, was a Breton from none other than some
Wow.
insignificant island kingdom of High Rock. Yes,
Oh.
Nerevar, the one that pushed forward the unification of Tamriel and stole my divine right to use the Numidium, is none other than some Breton Enwa. If this is not enough to despise them, I do not know what is. Honestly, if all of this was a tier list, the only reason they wouldn't be last is because the mongrel dogs are worse. But then it becomes a what came first kind of problem. Come, Nerevar, come
Take a seat.
and get ready for the truth about our savage and hairy neighbors up in Skyrim.
Nords.
No, I'm not talking about bears. Those are more reasonable. No, I'm talking about the Nords. And I'll give you
Ooh.
10 reasons to not like them one bit, Nerevar.
Oh boy.
Mind you, it's not ordered by importance. They would all be number 1 otherwise. Let us begin with number 10. They have a superiority complex. Nords are a prime example of mortals' boundless self-importance. Their arrogance truly knows no bounds, and it's almost endearing
the heck
how
is
they
that?
strut about,
Is that a
puffing
woman?
up their chests and boasting
that a
of their
man?
supposed greatness. It's a pity, really, that their words are as empty as their mead halls. They're so enamored with their own supposed superiority that they can't even see how laughably ignorant they are. Their racism runs deep, like a river of ignorance that they swim in daily. They make the Telvanni look like saints in comparison. It's almost cute how they cling to their misguided beliefs as if shouting them louder will make them true. What fools they are. And those bodies of theirs, so large and imposing, as if size could compensate for their lack of substance. It's as if they believe that by bulking up their muscles, they can somehow make up for the deficiencies of their minds. Number
Damn.
9. They are fake nationalists. Those nationalist and self-proclaimed patriots of Skyrim, a land as harsh and unyielding as their stubborn attitudes. Their so-called pride in their holds is nothing but a flimsy facade, a convenient excuse to avoid any form of productive labor. Why toil in the fields or contribute to the greater good when you can cling to your provincial bickering and false superiority?
Wow.
Yes, it's truly a spectacle to behold, watching them squabble amongst themselves. Their internal divisions so frequent that they might as well rename their nation Divided Skyrim. Number 8, they have no hygiene. The Nords' hygiene habits, or rather their complete disregard for them, are nothing short of offensive, both to the senses and to any semblance of civilization. They seem to have embraced their own filthiness with open arms, much like they've embraced their ignorance of the complexities of politics and their repeated failures as a so-called nation. Their self-care routines, if you can even call them that, are practically non-existent. It's almost impressive how they manage to exist in such a state of perpetual disarray. The casual way they go about avoiding soap and water
I'm eating
is just
ramen.
another glaring example of their sheer laziness and their utter lack of respect for the nostrils of those unfortunate enough to be in their vicinity. Indeed, the Nords are a blight upon the standards of personal hygiene that the rest of us hold dear. They are an embarrassment to all races, not just their own. Number 7, they have no culture. The Nords' so-called pride in their supposed culture is nothing short of absurd, a farce perpetuated by those who have deluded themselves into thinking they possess anything unique at all. In reality, they have no culture to speak of. Their noble Nords, who fancy themselves as the epitome of Nord tradition, are nothing more than poor imitations of Imperials. They dress like Imperials, walk like Imperials, and let's face it, they even talk like Imperials. It's as if they've taken a crash course in cultural mimicry and failed miserably. In their futile attempts to mimic the so-called sophistication of the Empire, they've managed to toss aside what little culture they might have had, feeble as it was. It's almost comical how they cling to their borrowed traditions and call it their own. Number 6, they have no honor.
No
the
honor.
Nords and their laughable notion of honor. It's almost cute how they cling to this facade of virtue, but in reality they're nothing more than a horde of drunken barbarians.
Dang.
Discipline, self-control. Those words have no place in their vocabulary. They're more likely to reach for a mead horn than to show restraint. Their so-called warriors are nothing but brutes in furs, prone to resorting to violence at the slightest provocation. They don't discriminate. They'll beat civilians, slaughter those who've surrendered, and in their most bizarre display, shout people to death as if a thunderous voice can somehow replace true combat skill. They're not warriors, they're nothing more than drunken thugs with weapons. To think that they have the audacity to call themselves honorable is a mockery of the very concept. They believe that brawling in a mead hall somehow qualifies as honorable combat.
Bye, me, son.
Number 5,
Have a good,
Skyrim
have a good
is
night.
not a paradise. Ah, the Nords and their undying pride in their wretched land. It's truly a sight to behold how they can look upon a landscape teeming with bandits, beasts, and the restless undead, and manage to convince themselves that it's something to celebrate. Yes, Skyrim, a place where danger lurks around every corner, where the very ground seems to conspire against any semblance of peace or prosperity. It's simply delightful, isn't it? Instead of taking any meaningful action to cleanse their land of these threats, the Nords prefer to engage in their favorite pastime, complaining. They wax poetic about how wonderful it is, as if the constant danger and desolation are marks of true paradise. Perhaps they've become so accustomed to the misery that they've convinced themselves it's something to be proud of. Number 4, Nords are always in conflict. They are a race perpetually embroiled in their own internal conflicts, like children squabbling over toys in a sandbox. It's no wonder they remain so blissfully ignorant, for they're far too busy brawling to spare a thought for learning anything worthwhile. Their history, if you can even call it that, is a pitiful tale of one defeat after another.
Dang.
Let's review their illustrious track record, shall we? They were bested by the Snow Elves, whose greatest feat was freezing everything in sight.
Snow elves!
Then, not content with one defeat, they managed to lose to the Akaviri not once, but twice, in a display of
Akaviri?
military ineptitude that is nothing short of legendary. And let's not forget their repeated failures against the Empire, Morrowind, Dunmer raiders, and yes, even mudcrabs.
Dang.
Mudcrabs. It's almost poetic how they can lose to creatures that would struggle to even pick up a sword. Number 3. They are the cause of their problems. The Nords and their grand tales of Atmora, the land of their ancestors. It's almost adorable how they cling to this distant, mythical past, as if it holds any relevance in the present. Yes, they do love to regale anyone who will listen with stories of their ancient homeland, conveniently forgetting the little detail that they fled from it like frightened children. You see, they left Atmora not out of some noble quest for a better life, but because they were terrified of the dragon cult, those delightful practitioners of draconic oppression. So what did they do in the face of adversity? They did what any self-respecting Nord would do. They ran away from their problems, leaving the dragon cult behind, but oh joy, bringing their problems with them to Skyrim. It's almost poetic, really, how they allowed themselves to be enslaved all over again, willingly stepping back into the clutches of their...
Wait, oh my god. The Nords worship a Breton? Interesting.
their oppressive past. They must have missed the good old days of being subjugated by dragon-worshipping overlords. Is this how they honor the sixth house and the tribe unmourned? Number
Stop.
2, they couldn't dig a proper...
What the fuck? I don't know why it just clicked. I was like, oh, he's a Breton. Then I was like, wait a second. They worship a Breton. The Nords worship a Breton. Oh, man. That makes it interesting. Because the Breton's like half elf, half man. And elves believe that they're like descended from gods or whatever, but the elves had a problem with Talos. Even though he was like half them. And then the humans are like, I guess it doesn't matter that he's half elf. Huh. Talos before Ascension gained a certain power that would allow him to change, but I can't explain why, because spoiler. What the? He could change his race? Oh my god. That's weird. Okay. I guess I'll find it in books.
tomb, even if Talos told them how. The Nords truly are masters of carelessness and sloppiness.
I just feel like
It's
I want to be
remarkable
black
how they
today,
treat
so I'm
their
going to
mighty
be a
kings with
Hammerfell
such
person.
a lack of reverence. Instead of giving their monarchs
I just feel like being a lizard today. I'm going to be an Argonian. What the?
proper and secure resting place.
A mod.
They opt for shallow graves that anyone with a shovel and a modicum of curiosity can stumble upon. It's almost as if they're inviting them in to ransack
God
their
Ascension
tombs.
when? Good question.
Necromancers really do have a field day in Skyrim. Why?
I gotta
Because the
keep
Nords
playing.
practically roll out the red carpet for them. They must think it's a brilliant idea to leave the graves of their once mighty rulers wide open, as if to say, "Come one, come all, have a go at our ancient kings and their armies. Look, we will even leave them there with their armor and weapons on." And when these reanimated mummies start causing disaster, what do the Nords do? They complain, of course. As if it's a surprise that the dead come back to life when you practically hand them an engraved invitation to do so. They might as well have dug up the graves themselves and handed the corpses over to the necromancers on a silver platter. And number one, they are disappointing warriors. Ah, the once glorious companions of legend reduced to a sorry band of lazy, mead-sodden louts. What a tragic fall from grace it must be for those who once inspired awe and admiration. It's a real shame that they've allowed themselves to become little more than a laughingstock in the eyes of Tamriel. But oh, it gets better. Not content with their descent into drunken mediocrity, the Nords decided to strike a deal with the so-called witches to transform into werewolf monstrosities. Why solve your own problems when you can make pacts with beings of dubious intent and lose what little dignity you had left? It's the Nord way, after all. Avoid responsibility at all costs. And what's even more pitiful is that even after gaining these supposed powers from the witches, they can't seem to muster the competence to do anything useful with them. It's almost embarrassing to watch as they fumble around, bumbling through their newfound abilities like children with a new toy they don't quite understand. But of course, when they've made an unholy mess of things, who do they turn to for help? The rest of us, of course. They expect us to clean up their disasters, to swoop in and deal with their stupid witches, all while they sit back and sip mead. Surely, welcome back, Nerevar. Come and make yourself...
Oh, okay. That was a quick cut. The next is Imperials. All right. He went pretty hard on the Nords. God damn. Hopefully he goes just as hard on the Imperials. I'm also done with my lunch. So after he talks about the Imperials, I'll do some setting up. Imperials. Yeah, hopefully he goes hard on the Imperials.
Comfortable, for today's sermon shall be merciless.
Okay,
of course, I'm
merciless.
talking about the mongrel dogs of the Empire, so let's get on with it, shall we? Reason number one, they are not Dunmer. The end.
Oh. What? What? Wait a second. Take out the way. What the fuck is this?
Yes, that really was all. What do you mean it was too short? They are mongrel dogs, for me's sake. Why do I have to... Ugh, all right, bring back the lights. What? What do you mean you forgot to mute the microphone? Just bring the lights back. I will have a word with Dunmer Resources after this. Ah, Nerevar, don't leave. That was a test for you.
Oh.
Of course, I have 10 proper reasons to hate mongrel dogs, so let's get to the details.
Okay.
But before that, let me tell you a little about their history. You see, mongrel dogs come in 2 dog species, Colovian and Nibonese. And for the sake of not spending more time than necessary talking about these pests, I'll do 5 reasons to hate each of them, for the total of 10. Let's talk about Colovians first. Number 1, perceived arrogance. Oh, the Colovians, with their stiff upper lips and their unwavering dedication to the old ways. How charming, isn't it? Their love for tradition and their knack for warfare might be admirable to some, but to those who prefer a more nuanced, culturally diverse approach, well, let's just say they might come off as a tad arrogant. Number 2, xenophobia. Colovians are known for their warm welcomes and open-mindedness, said no one ever. They've mastered the art of suspicion, especially towards those who don't fit their narrow definition of one of us. If you're not Colovian enough for them, prepare for some raised eyebrows and perhaps a few whispered insults behind your back. Number 3, Imperial supremacy. Oh, what a surprise. The Colovians at the top of the Imperial food chain. It's almost like they were born to rule, isn't it? Some might call it imperialism, but hey, let's not ruin their fun. After all, suppressing the rights and cultures of other provinces within the mongrel dog empire is just a little hobby of theirs, nothing to get worked up about. Number 4, rigid traditionalism. Ah, tradition, the cornerstone of Colovian subsociety. Who needs progress when you can cling desperately to the past?
Right, Garavon?
Change, innovation. What a grand and intoxicating innocence, please. Those are just fancy words for trouble. If it ain't broke, or even if it is, don't fix it. That's the Colovian motto. Number 5, aggressive expansionism. And how to miss their insatiable thirst for expansion. Because why settle for what you have when you can have it all? Who cares about pesky things like borders or diplomatic relations? If they want it, they'll take it, by force if necessary. Because nothing says neighborly love quite like aggressive expansionism. Now let me tell you about the Nibonese. Number 1, perceived decadence. Ah, the Nibonese, masters of extravagance and lavish living. Why settle for simplicity when you can drown in opulence? The Colovians might scoff at such decadence, but hey, someone has to keep the luxury industry thriving. Number 2, political intrigue. Nibonese politics, a labyrinth of deception and backstabbing. It's like a game of chess, except the pieces have a tendency to move on their own. Those poor souls who find themselves entangled in Nibonese political webs might start to wonder if honesty and straightforwardness are just quaint relics of a bygone era. Number 3, cultural appropriation. Why settle for one cultural identity when you can cherry-pick from the best of the bunch? Critics might raise an eyebrow or two at this blatant borrowing of traditions. Who cares if it leads to resentment and animosity from those whose cultures are being borrowed? Number 4, lack of unity. While the Colovians march in lockstep towards their militaristic goals, the Nibonese are busy squabbling amongst themselves. It's like herding cats, only with more political infighting and less adorable meowing. Number 5, magical manipulation. Oh, the Nibonese and their love affair with the mystical arts. Who needs logic and reason when you can just wave a wand and call it a day? Sure, some might view this emphasis on magic as manipulative or dangerous, but who am I to judge? Oh wait, I am a god. How dare you not allow a god to judge? But well, as long as they're not turning people into frogs, at least not without consent. What's the harm? And what I said first was actually the main point of this, but also, Tiber Septim, of course, still is the major issue with the mongrel dog empire and Tamriel as a whole. Everyone else are just petty villains in comparison. He was, is, and will be the one reason of all issues on Nirn, and you cannot change my mind about it, Nerevar. What do you mean this isn't enough? Since when have you been so much into mongrel dogs, Nerevar? Is there something going on that you haven't told me about? All right, don't look at me like that. I just have to point out more things about them, right? Goodness, you can be picky sometimes. Let's see. Well, don't pressure me, Nerevar. I'm not good at improvising, and you just derailed me from my perfectly structured sermon. How dare you pressure a god? Oh, yes, another reason to hate them is because of their royalty. Not just the Septims, that is. The mongrel dog empire has been for longer. Don't give them so much credit. Morihatha Alicia, the very meaning of royalty gone wrong. Her reign was like a never-ending game of political whack-a-mole, with crises popping up faster than she could say, "I'm queen." From famine to rebellion, it seemed like there was always something to ruin her day. Belharza the Man-Bull. Why settle for a mere minotaur when you can be a minotaur and a king?
What?
His reign was a spectacle of absurdity, fueled by rumors of his bizarre lineage and his capacity as bipedal cattle to rule. Clivia Tharn, the queen whose reign was a masterclass in manipulation and deceit. She treated the empire like her own personal chessboard.
She looks cool though. Which race lore do you like the most so far? Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I feel biased because I like the Bosmer. But the Khajiit are kind of interesting. They worship a bandit god and they're little bandits. They're called farm tools, which I think is really funny. I feel like I need to watch the Dunmer one over again too. Yeah, I don't know, the High Elves. The High Elf one was a little disappointing because it was just like, oh, they're really
Eleanor
just stuck
Whitestrake
up.
did nothing wrong.
Eleanor Whitestrake? Oh, is that who this chick is? Eleanor? I feel like the High Elves one wasn't that great because it was just essentially like, oh, they're just like really stuck up and they think that they're the best ever. That's pretty much it. Powdur Skyrim race tier list? Maybe after playing Skyrim, perhaps.
In manipulation and deceit. She treated the Empire like her own personal chessboard, sacrificing pawn and Clivia Tharn, the queen whose reign was a masterclass in manipulation and deceit. She treated the Empire like her own personal chessboard, sacrificing pawns to maintain her grip on power, even to the point of dealing with Daedra and necromancy. It's like a mix of the worst a leader could be. 0 out of 10 wouldn't recommend. Gorius. If there ever was a king who embodied the phrase all brawn and no brain, it was Gorius. His idea of diplomacy was to swing a battle axe first and ask questions later, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake that would make even the most battle-hardened warrior wince. Riemann Cyrodiil. Ah, of course, the conqueror with a crown as crooked as his morals. His insatiable appetite for expansion led to countless wars and untold suffering for the people of Cyrodiil. They say he built an empire, but at what cost? Certainly not in hugs and rainbows, that's for sure. And, all right, I admit I can't think of anyone else right now. Sermons require delicate planning, Nerevar. You can't just wing it.
Oh, okay. All right. That was it for Imperials and Nords. Imperials and Nords. And then next we have Redguards and then others, which is the, I'm sure the races that are just alluded to in the lore. Maybe we don't get to see them. But yeah,